alcoholic audio engineer. As you can see, I'm speaking very softly into the ear of the microphone, as it were. I'm embarking on the mastering phase of this project, and one part of the mastering process is checking the mix in what are called monitor speakers. Let me see, you can't see those in the webcam, but you should be able to see them from the studio cam up here. Just for the sake of reference, pun intended, I did type in the query, why use monitor speakers when mixing audio? And the trusty AI assistant that you get with Brave browser actually reframed the question. Usually doesn't do that. What are the benefits of employing near-field monitoring for audio mixing versus relying solely on headphones? Now, this is not just any speakers. These are monitor speakers, and that's explained quite succinctly in the following paragraphs. So, what are the benefits of employing near-field monitoring for audio mixing versus relying solely on headphones? Monitor speakers are designed to provide an accurate representation of the audio signal, allowing you to make informed mixing decisions. They are calibrated to produce a flat frequency response, which means they don't emphasize or attenuate specific frequencies, unlike consumer speakers. This ensures that you're not misled by coloration or distortion, enabling you to balance your mix correctly. So, really no need to go further than that. You can look into this more if you like, but that's the nutshell. These are monitor speakers. They're not high-end monitor speakers. I didn't pay a whole lot for them, but they're perfectly fine for the home studio hobbyist, such as myself. These are Kurzweil. If you don't know who Kurzweil is, he's a mad genius, a big transhumanist. He wants to upload his mind into a computer and live forever. And he believes that we're going to reach the singularity where man and machine will meld into a new transcendental, quasi-biological species. Something like that. Anyway, he's kind of madcap, but he makes great keyboards and other things like monitor speakers. Good value. I think I paid about $100 for them. You might not be able to afford monitor speakers, and they're really not strictly necessary for this hobby, this pastime, or this passion, as it is in my case. It's a cheap word nowadays. My passion. I spend a lot of time at it. It's a focal point in my life. So, therefore I have monitor speaker. I take it that seriously, at least. So, now, I'm doing this just to give you an idea of what it is to, sit down and, so far I've been mixing with headphones, probably more than you're supposed to. But I've been doing it long enough that I know how to do it. I know how to mentally compensate. I know what to expect when I finally run the mix through these very unforgiving speakers. And I say unforgiving because they're designed to reveal problems and issues that would ordinarily hide behind the frequency responses of your typical consumer grade headphones, speakers. They do have frequency response curves that emphasize bass. A lot of them emphasize bass and certain treble frequencies. Oftentimes they'll attenuate mids, kind of a scoop pattern. These are pretty much flat, right? It's kind of like when 4K came out in certain forms of adult entertainment, and suddenly you can see all the warts and the moles and everything. If you know what I'm talking about. Stay away from that stuff, by the way. It's not good for your soul. Anyway, these do that. They reveal issues and problems, and that's why we use them. They don't always sound particularly nice. So the goal is to, you're facing the mix at a flatline frequency response. And if you hear things that bother you, that's an indication that you should go back into the mix and address them. And make adjustments until when you play the mix through these monitor speakers, it sounds nice. Big part of the process, mastering process. Again, not strictly necessary, but if you can afford, if you get serious about it, this is a good investment to make. Okay? Again, these are small monitor speakers. They're nothing fancy, but they get the job done. All right? And now, this is just as important as the speakers themselves is the placement of the speakers, the shape of the room. Most rooms are somewhat rectangular. So, for example, a good rule of thumb is to place the speakers along, to place the speakers along one of the short walls of the rectangle. This room is slightly rectangular. I have these speakers positioned pretty much in the center of one of the two short walls. Also, you can see that they're, maybe from the studio cam, you can see that they're angled somewhat inward. It should be a 60-degree angle, and the idea is to have an equilateral triangle. So this speaker is pointing this way, the speaker is pointing this way, and your head is right here. Ideally, your ears are on the same plane as the speakers. My setup is not ideal. Ideally, I would have some some foam padding on the wall behind the speakers. It's not an optimal monitoring environment, and it doesn't need to be, but it's not a pro situation anyway. Now, this is not going to give you a full idea of, this is not like you sitting here listening to these speakers, because the microphone is mono, so you're getting a mono signal. And right, so these speakers are coming into the microphone off axis from left and right. That could cause some phase cancellation. That you can get really into a lot of details with this. I mean, for example, one rule of thumb is not to have your ears in the center of the room, because there's a dead zone when it comes to bass frequencies. I've avoided those pitfalls as much as I can. So you're going to hear the playback through the monitor speakers, and again, it's going to be mono. It's not going to be like you're actually here, but maybe you'll get some idea. If you've heard if you've been following these videos and you've so this is the same mix as I concluded with last night in last night's video. So if you haven't listened to that, go back to the video before this, and if you don't have time, just skip towards the end, and you can hear what that sounded like in stereo, coming from the system sound in the computer, right? So this is going to sound quite a bit different, but it'll give you some idea of what the monitor speakers sound like. And as I said, I'm shortly going to be getting into what I do, but my own mastering process, where I want to get things sounding reasonably good no matter what I run the song through, be it my car, the car idling at a stoplight, barreling down the highway, riding the subway with noise canceling headphones, without noise canceling headphones, through shitty $5 computer speakers, and everything in between. Cheap earbuds, expensive earbuds. You always want the song to at least be presentable to the ears and the brain, and not irritating. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play and hope for the best. Here we go. Oops. There. Okay, so that's it so far. I realized this speaker is actually not angled far enough. Should be more like that, but it's not going to make a huge difference here. Anyway, just to give you an idea, I've begun the mastering process, and so from here on out, every time I make a change, today I'm going to be adding some backing vocals. And so every time I add something, change something, after I hit that save button, I'll be rerouting the output through the monitors and checking as I go. So that's it for this video. It's going to be a short one. Mastering begins.